Hey, everybody. Just wanted to get on here and let you guys know that this is going to be the only time we talk about this situation. This is very personal and private to our life, and we want to put this information out there, not for us, but to help other people who are going through the same thing, to let you know that you're not alone. So if you see us in life, please try not to pry into what is going on with our family.
Yeah, we've experienced a lot of trauma and anxiety because of what we're about to talk about happened to us. We're choosing to share our story, like Jerett said, to help others learn, and if they're going through something similar, to know that they're not alone. This is our experience to tell, and ours alone, and we're choosing to tell it this way. We all agreed this was the best way for our family to tell our story. Please, listeners, listen with a gentle and kind heart. This experience was definitely not easy for us, and it's not easy to tell and relive it.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Clock started. Welcome back.
What's going on, sir?
Another day.
Yes, sir.
Episode 4 in the saga.
Episode 4 of the saga. Yes, sir.
If you watch just these, you would not have a clue what our podcast is even about. You wouldn't.
Oh, no.
You wouldn't even guess.
If you listen to the subsequent ones after this, you'll be like, what?
Yeah, why did I pick these guys up?
What the heck?
But thanks for the new followers, and I think that now we are over 3,000 new subscribers this month.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's good.
So welcome, and if you're just picking this up for this story and this saga and this little insight into life and how things can go wrong, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for hearing it out. It's a very serious topic.
Yeah.
None of this is fictitious. This is not made up. This
is my life.
This can all be verified by multiple people.
Yeah.
If you ever want Jerett to cite his sources, I'm sitting across from him.
Yeah,
Kendra,
exactly.
we're all there.
Yeah.
So it's all true.
Yeah, and we did keep this pretty close to the vest. I mean, there's not a million people who know what's going on, but there are a select few who were directly involved in this who we'll call you guys collateral damage in the fucking outfall of what is has become my life over the last couple of years. But other than that, man, we didn't put this out. I didn't Facebook post it, and I didn't make a big fuss about it. I just kind of was fighting my demons on my own, and as we'll get into throughout this, it got real bad before it got any better. And
yeah, I'm
alive. I'm here to talk about it. So so there's a happy ending to this story. Sorry to ruin it.
You're not ruining it. It's part of life.
Yeah, but I'm still here. I'm still fighting. So what Jack's obviously going to narrate.
Yep.
And kind of control the direction of the flow of the conversation, because we're trying to keep this in segments.
Yeah, and there was a lot that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so the four of us sat down and did a big brain dump, and JJ kind of organized this into episodes and how it should flow and stuff. So I had to keep notes because all four of us remembered 4 different things.
Right.
It's all things that all happened, but you all remember different parts and pieces of the story and what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and JJ's got, she asked me to keep notes of things that were going on with me, and she's keeping notes of things that are going on with her. She has a book. I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we laugh and joke that we're going to make, 12 to 30 episodes of this, but we probably are.
We have 12.
So much.
The notes so far, we're up to episode 12.
Yeah, so I'm sure that JJ will find some things that she left out of there as we're going through it. And it's a lot of time to cover.
It is.
So
this is literally like 12 months.
Yeah.
That we're going to condense down to probably like 12 to 14 hours of actual recording time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's a lot.
And there's going to be more stuff to come and things, and I don't think it's over yet. So
No.
look out for episode 15.
Yeah. So the way we left off on the last episode, you guys got a knock on the door, and there was a social worker and 5 cops.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. And we kind of pick it up from there. And I think this was a check-in with the social worker.
This was the initial contact.
The initial contact. Okay.
Initial contact. So that would have been July 11th,
Okay.
2025. So that way we keep all of our dates right.
Okay.
It was the day after Uncle John's party for his celebration of life at the house,
Right.
where my cousin's wife had a seizure and kind of kicked these things off into motion, which we would find out later. We wouldn't know at the time.
And that's when there was a 911 call,
Yes.
and I think it was
I made the 911 call on that Tuesday.
What you guys don't understand is she stopped breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is fucking terrifying. She went into a full-blown grand mal seizure.
yeah.
And so my sister and her husband were there, and they're both respiratory therapists. And Mike was giving her compressions.
Yeah.
Like, she was getting full-blown CPR in my backyard.
Right. And we think that that's what, because it was a 911 call that came from the house.
Yeah.
That they didn't necessarily state what it was for.
Right.
Just that it was medical.
Medical. So CPS or whomever, obviously it was flagged. And so they probably thought it was
Me calling
You,
for
JJ,
help.
or-
they assumed.
or
So
hunters.
Something
so
happened.
at that moment in time, we did not know. Now I know that we were flagged through Riverside Mental Health.
Okay.
So they did flag us, and they are the ones who had alerted CPS to some kind of incident.
Check in on us.
Yeah,
right.
There's a.
Yeah. So
So yeah, the social worker showed up. I answered the door. She asked me to come outside. Started asking me questions about what had happened, and it was more of like she acted like she already knew what had happened. She was interrupting me. She was being kind of. I personally felt like I was not able to explain. Like tell like what happened. Like every time she'd ask me a question, I'd start to say something, and then she'd like interrupt me and either ask another question, or just the way that she replied was just kind of like it felt rude. It felt like she had a preconceived notion and like idea about me, And then not even halfway through the interview, she was like, "Can you go get Jerett?" Like she didn't even get all of the information from me. She just had me go and get Jerett. So I went inside and got Jerett, and we have video of actually me showing up because you guys were recording.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I step outside. I've never been patted down so many times in my own driveway. Like they look at me like I'm a threat.
Of course.
Which, sure, granted, I look like I could be a problem.
Sure.
There's 5 of you cops here. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're not taking on all 5 of them?
Yeah, no.
Armed, trained men?
Yeah, no, no. And that's the thing too is like I'm a law-abiding citizen. Like I don't have anything to hide. I didn't. I was not. I thought it was a misunderstanding. Like I'm like, well, why the fuck would you be here? Your Child Protective Services. There's nothing wrong with my son. And she proceeded to question me. And I'm looking at these cops like, do you all need to be here? 5 of you. It's 3 in my immediate vicinity, and then 2 in the driveway, kind of watching, the exits and stuff. And I get it. You don't know what you're rolling into as a cop.
Sure.
You need to be vigilant. So, I'm looking out and watching all this stuff, and she's like, well, we need to come in. And I said, there's no way.
Yeah. Do you have a warrant?
Yeah.
If you need to come in, you'd have a warrant. And the first thing you would have said is, we're here with a warrant.
Right.
We need to enter the premises.
Right. And if you talk to a lawyer, the first thing that they tell you is do not let them in your house without a warrant.
No.
Because they are there to look for a reason to find something that they can find to say you're a negligent parent.
Well, they'll find something to construe, make their side of the story.
Right.
like sound truthful.
Right, 100%. So she's like, we need to come in, and I said, no, yeah, that's not happening. I said, my son's in there, and this will scare the shit out of him. You're not doing this.
Yeah.
And she said, well, if you're not going to let us in the home, then we need to see him to make sure he's okay. And then I said, okay. So I get Hunter, I come out. I'm like, hey, there's a lady here. She just wants to ask you some questions. She wants to talk to you. And, she asked him couple of questions or whatever, wanted to see him and make sure that he's not.
And she's checking for bruises, cuts, scrapes, anything. If it looks like there's physical abuse.
Yeah, malnourished, something like that, and we lived in a nice house.
Yeah.
We had nice cars in the driveway. We had friends over who had nice cars in the driveway. There was a preconceived notion about who we were. Mm-hmm. And it would later show that comments are made.
Right.
Later in the story. So I'm just going to preface it that like how JJ was saying, that she would ask her for information on the story and then she'd cut her off and say like, well, that's not true, or that's not right, or, try to feed JJ the story that she wants her to say.
Oh, so she would ask you questions, JJ?
Yeah.
And when you would answer them, she would tell you were wrong?
It was kind of like I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like she directly said I was wrong.
Right.
But she was like, she would just, the way that the next question would lead to like being kind of like, she's trying to like narrate what happened. Like she didn't ask other questions that would have given her a lot more detail. She only wanted about a specific subject.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're dealing with that. Right. And I say, hey, are you done with my son? Can he go back inside so we can finish whatever the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, that's all I need from him. So I'm like, all right, go play. Go be a kid. And we sit out there, we talk to her, and, I think we're going to get into all of the things in a later episode, but it was pretty much like, we recommend this and we recommend these classes. And
they wanted us to do, sorry to interrupt, they wanted us to do therapy, which we said we already had been doing therapy with a therapist. And I also said that, he sees a psychiatrist, and also like we were looking into, having him get services at the VA.
Right.
And she kind of just dismissed all that information. So like there was nothing, she just kind of handed us a packet and said, here's a thing for services.
Yeah.
And that was it. She didn't say like, well, you need to go you have to do services or anything like that. She just handed us a packet and said, here's information. And
And the cops said nothing. They were just there.
They were just there.
Yeah.
They were there in case something went south.
Yeah.
Well, which I'm sure that when CPS shows up at somebody's house, they're not happy to see you.
Oh, yeah. They're not sending them in. No. That's probably protocol.
Yeah, that's standard protocol. It had turned out that we found out later that she had been calling for a police escort for a number of hours.
Oh?
She had been, what I assume is parked down the street.
Oh, because she came to your house. It was
at nighttime.
It was like 8 o'clock at
Yeah, I was
night.
gonna say,
Yeah.
We were recording.
Yeah. So later in this story, we'll tell you about the call sheet that we got for calls to service to the house. And a majority of them were from her.
Okay.
So, so the cops go, and I have a cousin who's in law enforcement, so I call him. I'm like, hey, is this standard? Like 5 fucking dudes? Like, really? And he goes, no, it's pretty standard for when we roll. They're not anybody's favorite person to come knock on your door.
Sure.
But he said also at the same time, they need to be keeping CPS in check, because CPS will just say, I'm going to take your kid, or I'm going to come into your house.
Right.
And that's not how this works.
Right.
He's like, you don't have to let them in. You weren't obliged, or you didn't have to oblige them by letting them in. You didn't. Your rights are protected because you're a citizen. This is your home. You don't have to let anybody in.
Yeah, not without a warrant. It doesn't matter who you are
Yeah.
from what government agency. You have to have a warrant that allows you.
Yeah. Anybody who comes to your house that's like, I need to come in. No, you don't. Do you have a warrant? Because a judge has to sign a warrant. So a judge has to feel that there's big enough of a problem in your home for them to come intervene.
Okay.
So, yeah, all that wrapped. She gave us this packet, and she was just kind of like, all right, bye. So I didn't think anything of it, right? Like, I'm thinking misunderstanding. Something happened. Somebody called, right?
Sure.
Because somebody has to call. They don't just roll to your house.
Yeah. So and then she actually wanted to come into the house, and we said, can we do it like the next day?
Yeah.
And that ended up working out, on its own. We just didn't want Hunter in the home. Obviously,
Right.
like we didn't want him traumatized by anything or whatever. So
Yeah, and I wasn't home. That spooked us pretty good. That somebody
Yeah.
could have a misunderstanding about us,
Right.
right? And everything that I had been going through, I was kind of just like, all right, I'm going to remove myself just in case, because I don't need any problems and I don't need any more misunderstandings and I don't need anybody to come back here and question you more or question me or wonder what the fuck is going on. I don't need that, right? We already have enough stressors.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I left, and you did the walkthrough with her the next day.
Yeah, but yeah, she showed up the next day. I arranged everything with her, and she walked through the house, made a few comments that I didn't think were very appropriate, and then she did ask me to take a drug test. She asked for Jerett to take a drug test as well, but I was like, well, he's not here, so I can't speak for him.
Right.
Like this, you can reach out to him and speak with him. But she asked me to take a drug test. I said, yep, of course. I have nothing to hide. Send me the information. I'll go do it, And then, yeah, I think that was, I don't remember. Yeah, that was that Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I assumed that she had reached out to you about the drug test, but apparently not. I think she had reached out.
not.
Yeah, she had reached out the following day about that. I think
Yeah.
you had talked to David, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You've been talking to David because we were all checking in on you pretty
Right.
regularly.
Yeah.
And I think David's in Florida. And so David kind of had the same mindset of you, is like, why don't you come out here? Like, I'll buy you a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Come out here. Like, if you're perceived as being the problem, come out here. Let's get them away so they can see like there's nothing going on.
Right. Yeah. So David actually bought me a flight. Like, hey, I got you a ticket. You're coming.
Yeah.
Right. And I was staying in hotels, at this point. This is 2 days later. I think I left 2 days later. So I'm staying in hotels, right? And he's calling me and he's like, I just need you to be okay.
Well, self-isolating for you is not a good thing.
Not ever. No.
And we will get into that
Yeah.
much later, but self-isolation for you is not a good. Self-isolation for anybody that's kind of like having a mental health crisis is not. It's not
Not what you need to do.
No.
So David buys me this ticket. I had already packed clothes. I had planned on being out of the house for a while and just kind of letting things smooth over, like it was fucking a lot of things happened and then this happened, right? So it's just a fucking run up of things that kept happening.
I feel like her showing up at the house, it just added like an additional stressor, So I think it was best. We kind of agreed that it was just the best thing. Let's bring our emotions down, separate, even though I know at the time you're kind of like hesitant, when David bought you the ticket. But.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave my family.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
in a time of crisis.
like I got so much shit going on and I'm now on the other side of my fucking meds that are making me have all these problems. So I'm trying to fix all the things that I fucked up while I was on them.
Right. So you are off the
Trintellix.
Yeah. And that was really one of the driving forces for a lot of this.
Yeah. So I am on my way to being better, right? But I'm still cautious.
Sure.
Because I don't know if this shit's out of my system or like, there's a lot of factors that I'm like scared now because these people are at my house now and like, well, who called and why would they call? And like, I don't get that. Like there's never been any danger for my son. He's never been mistreated. I don't even fucking spank him. Like I don't understand. Right. But then I'm like, okay, well, I'm the problem, right? I got to get the fuck out of here. David's like, you're coming. I don't give a fuck. Like, get on the plane.
Yeah.
So I fly out to Florida and I got a text. Hey, I need you to take a drug test.
This is from the same
From the same social worker that,
Yeah.
interacted with you guys.
And I said, I have no problem taking a drug test.
Sure.
However, I'm in Florida.
Yeah, you want me to mail you a cup?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
It's not going to be body temperature by
Yeah.
the time it gets there.
like, what do you want from me? So funny story is while I was in Florida with David, JJ had ordered me drug tests to take, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll take this drug test and I'll take pictures. Maybe that'll suffice.
Or that you could have gone to an agency out there.
Yeah, but the problem with California is they have no jurisdiction outside.
Oh, so even
And
if
it wasn't a court order. She was just like, I think you should go take a drug test. This was just her thinking like, you should go take a drug test.
Okay.
So she had no authority to have me drug tested. So she couldn't push it. So I told her that, and she says, okay, that's fine, whatever. Skipping way ahead, I did not know that if you don't show up for a drug test, they mark you as failed.
Oh.
Even if you give them an excuse of why you can't, like, hey, I'm out of the state.
Yeah, I'm 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had actually, I think she had texted you the information, like, about, can you take a drug test? Here's the information. She had put in, like, the referral for it.
Right.
Like, all in at the same time. So, like, the referral was in, and so she marked it as, like, well, he never showed up, so he failed it.
Yeah. But I'm communicating to her, like, I'm in Florida. Like, I have no problems taking a drug test. And I don't know if I can put this out there already, but I would later find out that she said I ran to Florida.
Oh, nice.
So she tried
fled?
I fled, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I fled to Florida to disrupt her investigation, is what she said.
How can somebody set you up for failure like that too? Like, you need to take a drug test. I'm in Florida. I'm not in the state. I'll be back on this date. I will happily take a drug test when I get back. Oh, don't worry about it. And then mark you down as a fail.
Yeah.
That's not right.
No, that should not be how things work.
No.
Right? So these are all things that we're finding out later as this case progresses, and we'll go into it. But so I'm in Florida with David, and I'm kind of not worried about that because I'm like, it's not a warrant. She doesn't have a warrant for me to take a drug test. She kind of just scheduled me this thing and was like, you're going to go do this. And at the time I'm in the mindset of like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I don't have a problem, but like, where's all this coming from?
Well, you're not going to fail a drug test.
No.
You're not doing drugs.
No. Yeah. I was okay, I'll be in company. Like, I don't care. But I said I'm in Florida. Like I have no problems. Like, I can take one when I come back. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And she said it's no longer relevant.
Okay, so to me, that all indicates that it wasn't a problem
Right.
that you weren't there to take it.
Right, 100%. 100%.
Especially since I passed mine, like we kind of figured, well, at least like I went and took it, so it's like, okay, well, we're good,
Yeah.
Yeah, but to the casual observer, this doesn't seem
yeah,
out of the norm.
yeah.
No.
Like, okay, like the guy's best friend who's keeping tabs on his mental health says, hey, you need to come spend some time with me, because we all know, like, we all talk, but, last night it was me and you and Javi and Jason sat and had cigars and laughed and joked, and we speak very candidly with some things that we don't necessarily speak to our wives and our kids about.
Right.
And so a lot of times, especially with David being as close to you as he is, that's a time when you could really like open up and probably get emotional and relieve. The point was to get you to relieve some of that burden that you didn't want to put on JJ.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, so I'm out there with David and I just start crying and I'm like, am I crazy? Like, is something wrong with me? And he's like, you're the same Jerett I've always known. You're the same Jerett I've always known. You haven't changed a bit. And I said, are you sure? Because I don't want you telling me this because I'm your friend. Like, is something wrong with me? And he said, if something was wrong with you, I'd fucking tell you. Yeah. He's like, but you're you, right? And I think enough time had passed where I was starting to get back to normal me, right? And I was out in Florida with David to, I don't necessarily want to say blow off some steam, but kind of like be able to breathe and like fucking catch my
decompress.
breath. Yeah. So
Your grief backpack was very heavy.
yeah.
And he was there to take the load off of it.
yeah. So I'm hanging out with Dave. I think I was there for 2 weeks, maybe less.
Yeah, I think it was
10
about
days.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 to 14
Yeah. So
days
10
about,
days,
yeah.
whatever it was. It was just enough to like.
I think you went fishing, or like you guys went and
Yeah.
did like outdoor stuff, which I think is really good,
Yeah.
for your mental health. Like, but
Yeah,
you
and
guys
David
were
made sure I was
busy.
busy while I was
Yeah.
there. He took some time off work and made sure that I was good, right? Like, hey, like when you go, I don't want to say it was a vacation, but it's vacation. When you go on vacation, you're hanging out with your buddies, you kind of leave your worries behind, right? You kind of, it's not the same. You're not thinking about the same stressors back home. You're not thinking about all the things. You're kind of just living that moment, which was what it was for, right?
Mm-hmm.
David made sure I was busy. I was always doing something. We always had something to do while I was there.
Right.
So I've known David for the longest, right? We're going on 19 years I've known this guy. If I was off, if I was crazy or whatever I thought that I was, he would have fucking noticed it right away.
Oh, yeah.
He noticed in the texts and the calls and the things like something's wrong. Something's visibly wrong, like he can fucking he's picking up on that. So that's why he bought me the ticket to go. But by the time I got everything out of my system, all these fucking crazy meds they had me on, excuse me, all the meds they had me on, I was there with him. Shit was out of my system. I was fine. And it's weird when you see friends that you don't see in a long time, right? You just kind of pick up where you left off.
Yeah.
Right. So there was no gaps, no nothing, right? It was just like, I'm back with my buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And explaining to him what's going on and all the things. And we kind of knew that the medication was, the cause of all this stuff. And we're trying to put it all together and we're talking and I'm just venting, right? I'm getting all my shit out. I'm like, it's important. If you're out there and you're listening, you got something going on, you need to talk about it.
Yeah, you have to. You can't keep the poison in.
Yeah. So, so I think that those 10 days, probably the best thing for me, right? And we came up with some ideas and some plans. And, I said, I'm going to stay away from the house for a little while and kind of just work my way back into this thing, right? Like I don't need to revert back to any of my problems that I had. I don't and at this point, like I thought that I was crazy because I still was not under the belief that medication makes you hallucinate and do all this stuff and hear and see and like it was it was a lot of shit that was happening to me.
Well, yeah, not a doctor prescribed medication.
Yeah.
Like, even though the doctor, had said, oh, like, obviously this medication isn't working for you, it's still, like you said, it was hard to believe that that was, like, a doctor prescribed medication could cause him to act that way,
Yeah. It just wreaked so much havoc on my life, right? Like, and it was not a long period of time, right? And I've still never had any of those things happen to me since I've been off the medication.
Yeah, so I'd say that's a clear indicator that it was the problem.
Yeah, so, a very brief moment in time kicked all this shit off.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been with JJ at that point, I don't know, 10 years probably at that point.
I think we're at 13, is 12.
So, so forever, right? And she's like, she's telling everybody who will listen, like, something's off, something's wrong. This isn't him. He's never been like this, So my time in Florida was really like a reflection stage. It was just so much needed. I needed it for my soul, right? Like, you just need to get the fuck out of your situation sometimes. And that's what they tell you too. Like, if you're in a bad spot, like, take a time out.
You get out of the spot.
Get out of it. Yeah. So,
but sometimes even just changing that physical space will change your mental headspace.
Yeah.
And we communicated, pretty much every day that you were out there, So, it was, even though you were away. Like, it was still, we were still, family information and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah, I was still FaceTiming Hunter and
Yeah.
then talked to Uncle David. And, I mean, like, it was like I was on a work trip or, things that I've done hundreds of times. So it wasn't out of Hunter's normal, which was
Yeah.
key.
We wanted to make sure that it wasn't like Hunter felt that because, that
and
was,
during all of this, we kept this pretty much between us. Like all of the questions that I had and all the things that I thought I saw was just between me and JJ. Like it's not like I was, having these episodes and screaming in the living room in front of Hunter. Like Hunter had no idea what was going on.
Right.
yeah, he didn't, I mean, obviously with a social worker, he didn't know that she was a social worker,
Right.
or anything like that. He met her that one time, But yeah, we tried to keep it, business as usual with Hunter, because you don't want to put that on your child. Like, obviously,
Yeah. Like
there's no need for that. He doesn't need to.
He's a child. He doesn't need
Yeah.
to know what's going. He doesn't need to know what's going on.
And he doesn't need to know, about any of our problems either, or our, so that was,
Yeah. So he the whole time had no idea. He didn't have a clue.
Right.
He's just like, there's a bunch of cops and some lady outside that want to talk to me, and
and then Dad's in Florida.
Dad's in Florida. Yeah, Dad's with Uncle
visiting
David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see him say hi.
yeah. So I mean, it was for him in his mind. It was status quo. I mean, like you'd never guess anything was
Yeah,
wrong.
you've been out to visit David a bunch. That's
Yeah.
not, David comes out and visits you. It's nothing outside
Yeah.
the norm.
Yeah. So there was, as far as Hunter goes, there was nothing that interrupted his norm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you were there for 10 days
Mhm.
and came back,
Yeah.
and you were still staying away from the house?
Yeah. I wasn't living there.
Yeah.
I
but-
was, I kind of entrenched myself in work.
Right.
I have the ability to travel and stay in hotels and ride that shit. Nobody's going to question me on that. And so I was doing that, right? Just kind of like popping in. I'd like to be there when Hunter wakes up, and he's not a 7 a.m. kid. So if I can be there,
like for lunch or something.
yeah, like for lunch, like if I could pop
yeah.
in, and make his life normal and be there for dinners, because family dinners is a big thing for us. And, things like that, you put him down and I would leave and,
Or be at soccer practice.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of like, Hunter didn't really realize that he wasn't home,
right.
Yeah.
We needed to keep it as normal for him as possible.
Right.
Because why make him worry? Like, that's the thing that throughout this whole thing I've never understood is I never put any of this shit into my kid's head. They did.
Right.
So as far as he knew, nothing was wrong.
Right. But all through this time, too, when you came back, you guys were still going through therapy.
Yeah.
You were still seeing your psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So the courses, we'll call it, or the work that the CPS person had recommended, were you guys doing that?
So she didn't really recommend, she just handed us a packet.
Okay.
So she had reached, the social worker ended up showing back up. This was like a little over a month after she had initially showed up the first time.
Okay.
We didn't hear from her for a whole
Yeah.
entire
There's
month.
no contact. No nothing.
Nothing.
No
So
follow.
you go to Florida and come back, and
Yeah.
still nothing from her.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah. No texts, no phone calls, no nothing. So she showed up at our door. We weren't home at the time, and she had left her card. And then, I got home, I saw, and then I texted her kind of like, oh, saw you stop by, what's up,
Yeah.
And then that was at night. I believe we were at soccer practice. And then the next day, she wrote back and said, I'm trying to kind of get like a status on like what's going on at your house. Like what have you guys been up to? So I told her, Jared's been in and out of the house, visiting Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He's still not living at the house. We are just kind of trying to keep things as normal for Hunter as possible. I mean, that's, I think, a normal, normal
Up to
thing
this
for
point,
parents
Hunter
to do.
had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a happy fucking kid.
Yeah.
He didn't have a concern in the world. We didn't make it seem like anything was off.
Yeah.
Our focus was him, right? It
Right.
wasn't like I wasn't like, I need to be home. Like, let me come home. It wasn't any kind of shit like that. Like, It was just
Yeah.
we had a good thing working, and it was no drama. We weren't fighting. Like it was nice, right?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
so trying to build back things that I had felt that I had messed up while I was dealing with all my shit. But slowly, right? Like not like fucking okay, you're gonna forgive me and forget, right? Like, like so it wasn't that.
Yeah. She had said, well, Jerett needs to not be in the house. And she said, it's, like, you have till noon to tell me what if he's going to leave the house or you guys. And I was like, okay, that, like, escalated very quickly. I don't really understand why, like, I didn't tell her this, but I was thinking, like, I don't understand why he can't be in the house. He's not living there. And anyways, nothing, even if he did, so, like, so what? Nothing happened,
Yeah, and he's been gone. This is a month.
Yeah,
she
this is
hasn't
a
talked
month,
to you,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden, Jerett can't live in the home.
Yeah, this is about 6 weeks after Jerett's mental health crisis.
Okay.
So, I get a hold of Jerett, and I'm like, this is what the social worker said. I guess maybe just stay away from the home for a while. Like, we'll figure out, when you can see Hunter, like, out in public or something like that. I don't
There was
know.
no court order. There
No.
was
No.
no restricted visitation.
No,
There
yeah.
was nothing, no
This is them.
restraining
Nothing.
orders, nothing barring you
Nothing.
from coming into your own
Nothing.
home.
So Jerett was like, fine, I'll stay away. That's no
Yeah.
big deal. And then I had, I let her know. I said, okay, Jerett said that he'll stay away from the house. And then she said, okay, I want you to do these services. And
What do you mean by services?
so it's parenting classes and
Okay.
and then a domestic violence like victim class.
You're not a
I
victim of domestic violence.
yeah, I
What's
am
no
not.
domestic violence. I don't know how many times we have to say that. And if you listen to all 12 of these episodes, you're gonna hear that.
Yeah,
So buckle up,
Yeah.
Let me know
Buttercup.
if you're out there and you hear some domestic violence.
Yeah.
Let us know what we missed.
Yeah, we'd like
because,
to figure it out.
Yeah.
because I'd like to know what the cops missed.
So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, fine, I'll take the classes. It's perfectly fine. Like
Yeah, and then she calls me.
And then she got a hold of Jerett, and you can tell
So
you.
she's like, I need you to take these parenting classes. And I said, okay. And she said, and domestic violence classes.
Perpetrator.
Yeah,
Yours was
perpetrator. Domestic violence perpetrator classes. And I said, well, why the fuck would I do that? I've never committed domestic violence.
Yeah.
I've never been accused of domestic violence. I've never been charged with domestic violence.
Yeah.
I said, what's the necessity of me taking these classes?
Right.
And she was like, well, it's more of a preventative. And I said, okay, I can tell you right now that that's not an option. Like, let me understand this. You want me to take domestic violence classes when I've never committed domestic violence?
Yeah.
And she goes, I know it doesn't make sense to you, but that's what you need to do. And I said, why?
That's like a cop coming up to you at a stop sign and saying, I need you to go to traffic school. Because I know you're not driving right now. And you seem to be a law-abiding citizen, but I'm pretty sure you're going to break a traffic law.
Yeah.
So just take it.
Yeah, just fucking here you go.
To learn what you did wrong, even though you did nothing
Yeah.
wrong. Like, I still, trying to talk through it confuses me more.
Yes. Yeah. So I have a lot of questions, and she doesn't like that.
Good.
She does not like that I'm questioning her authority.
Well, she probably does not, she's not accustomed to it.
No.
A
No.
lot of people, I think, would just cave.
Yeah. So I wasn't there for the conversation, but it's not like you were like, well, why the fuck do I have to do this?
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it was like
I wasn't like, go fuck yourself.
Well, but
Yeah,
you're
you're
well within your legal rights, number
Yeah.
one. And number two, like you said, if any attorney or police officer, you don't just have to immediately comply with anything. And any attorney would tell you, well, you should ask them. It's like if a
Right.
cop pulls you over, can I see your badge?
Right.
Right? There's fake cops. There's
Yeah.
people that do stuff like that. Not to say that this was, but there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with asking.
Well, and at the end of the day, she's just a person trying to tell me what I need to do. And life doesn't work like that. I haven't really been in a position where authority is going to tell me what to do since I got out of the military.
Right.
Like, now that I'm a civilian, I need some fucking justification behind your requests.
Yeah.
I need to know why.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she couldn't give that to me, but she escalated. She started getting fucking upset And I said, you know, is this going to affect something with me? And she goes, you know what? Yeah, this is going to court. And I was like, okay, well then we're done talking. So
yeah, until I have an attorney present.
Yeah. You just escalated that because you got upset that I wasn't just going to do what you said.
But you are well within your legal rights. Again, I'll say it again, to not have to. These are suggestions.
These are just suggestions.
Yeah, this is not like you have to do this.
This is not a court order.
Yeah.
I haven't been brought up on charges. The police have never charged me with anything. Still to this day, I've never been charged with any crimes.
Yeah, you can find a police report that says that.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
You win a prize.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I have on my record? Texting while driving in 2016.
Well, you're clearly a terrible human.
Yeah, I'm a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I haven't broken any fucking laws.
Yeah.
I've talked to the cops and I've been like, you know, hey, is this a thing? Is this a, you know, whatever? And they're like, no, you're good. You're well within your rights. You are well within your rights to defend your home. Right? There's nothing that says you can't do anything that you've done. You're protected by law.
Right.
By law, I'm protected.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. So she's spouting off all this shit, and then she, you know, you can tell that she's upset, and I'm like, so like
That's a you problem.
That's a you problem. You are just so used to people rolling over because you said so that you think that I'm going to.
No.
So yeah, she escalated this. So we
You called me after.
I called you after, and I said this lady said, this person, how about that? This person said that she's going to escalate this. It's going to court.
So I think at that point I said, okay, let me call. I called to try and make the appointments for like the services that they wanted us to do.
And they said no.
Yeah. And they said, well, first you can't make an appointment for Jerett. He has to call in. I said, well, I'm his wife, and I usually make his medical appointments. Like, this is not, it's just an appointment. And they said, no, you can't do it. And then they said, also, anyways, you have to have a referral. Otherwise, you're going to be a cash patient. And I was like, well, can't we use our insurance? And she said, no, you're going to be, you have to either pay cash or get a referral. She said, I would just call your social worker and get a referral, and it'll be free. So we were like, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when, so I was like, okay, I'll reach out to her tomorrow, and do this. I think it was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So I was like, I'll talk to her tomorrow. No big deal. And then we had decided, because of the conversation and some of our research, that it would probably be smart of us to hire an attorney.
Well, yeah, that's the second that she said this is going to court.
Yeah.
I would have at least gotten a consultation from an attorney and told them what was going on.
And I had asked her some questions, and she didn't like that. Like I said, based on what? You're going to take this to court based on what?
Yeah, how?
Yeah. You came to my house one time.
On a feeling?
Yeah. Like what are you doing?
Well, also, what happened to innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. That's a fairy tale they tell us.
Like, you are guilty until proven innocent. That's not how it works.
No.
You have no facts. You have no documentation. You're telling me you are projecting upon me that I am a violent spouse-beating person.
Yeah.
And that my wife and children are in danger.
Yeah.
When it's not the case.
Yeah. And there'll be some episodes where we'll get into the classes I had to take and the things that I had to fucking deal with.
You used to call me after your class and be like, bro. Yeah. I'd be like, that's not you. Oh, yeah.
So it was a lot of fucking...
Yeah.
I don't want to associate with those people.
I wouldn't want to.
No.
You're not
one
of them.
I'm not that guy. So we decided to get an attorney, and we thought that one attorney would cover us both.
Right.
And they made it seem that way. Right. JJ found the most expensive attorney she could fucking find, I'm sure, and told them that she'd pay him double because these motherfuckers were so expensive.
Right.
It wasn't that. It was just, we were at the point of, we were like, well, we have to protect ourselves. So I did
from
some
what we
research.
didn't know yet, for why we had no idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
but we were definitely having to play defense now, and it was coming fast because she escalated that shit out of fucking nowhere. It had been 6 weeks, and she just escalated that shit just because she felt like it.
And we were confused as to why we couldn't, Jerett couldn't be around the house or be around Hunter and I. She didn't really give us answers. There was no oh well, he can't be around because of this. It's just he can't be there.
Yeah.
And it's we didn't understand. So I think getting an attorney definitely was at that time.
It was.
We thought that it was a good decision to make.
Unfortunately, it was late.
Yeah.
Because she had already escalated it. Had we got attorneys initially, it would have been a quarter of the price. So, but since she said we're going to escalate this to court, now it costs 4 times more. Yeah. So, and for a lot of families out there, you're not coming out of pocket $10, $20, $30, $40,000. You're not doing it.
I don't know when the last time was anybody tried to hire an attorney, but it is not cheap.
No, and you pay
hundreds
right
of dollars an hour.
And
you will pay a retainer, and that'll cover you up to a certain amount of time.
Not family. You pay the whole fucking nut up front.
You have to pay up front.
All of it.
For this specific type of attorney. And I shopped around obviously, but I know. But yeah, everyone, you have to pay up front.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was a chunk. This was a fucking lot of money for this fucking attorney.
A staggering number.
Yeah. So
I think that's kind of where we want to end.
Yeah. That's kind of where we're going to leave off from here.
But
but we thought that her attorney was going to cover us both, and we both talked to him on the phone.
Well, but you also thought okay, we'll get an attorney. Maybe this goes to arbitration, and it's it.
Yeah. We're
going to talk through.
Why are we fucking here?
Yeah. The attorney you would think would look at it and go to the judge and go, there is no case.
Right.
Yeah.
It's lovely that these people paid me all this money, but you can clearly see from the lack of any report or evidence or documentation, this is all he said, she said.
Right. And we will get into it later in an episode about what the report read.
Right.
And we'll have a segment on allegations versus facts.
Right.
So we'll get into that later. It reads like a fucking terrible novel, but we'll deep dive into that and let you guys know how they escalated it to where we are now. We're a year in.
Yeah.
So no evidence, no nothing. Just fucking, hey, I need to know why, and fuck you, that's why.
And a whole lot of no answers.
Yeah. So we got JJ a lawyer, and I didn't know I needed one. so I had a public defender. That was fucking cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I think that's
you don't.
Now I don't. Now I got a fucking monster. Yeah. So anybody out there, if you're going through this or you know somebody going through this, call a lawyer right away.
Yeah.
You do not have to do what they tell you because they don't have any authority over you. But if they're having a bad day and you're giving them some slack, they will try to fuck up your life.
Yeah.
We're going to get into it, but that's what they're trying. That's what they did.
Yeah.
So check in on your friends.
Yep.
Don't answer the door if somebody comes to your house, man. I don't know what to say.
They don't have a warrant. Don't let them in.
Yeah. You don't have to talk to these people. That you're under no obligation to answer their questions.
No.
So there's a lot of things that we know now that we didn't know then. We thought that telling the truth and being open and honest and just, here it is, was going to get us, they're going to be like, oh, we made a mistake.
Yep.
Never the fucking case.
No.
So lawyer up for everything. Just fucking lawyer up. Call any attorney and they'll give you the same advice. Don't talk to them.
Yeah. They'll say, don't say anything to them.
Yeah. Don't talk to them.
Yep.
So there's a little piece of free legal advice from people who aren't lawyers. But then that goes with anything. If you're getting fucked up, you have the right to remain silent. Mm-hmm. So that being said, man, checking on your friends. It's important.
And if you're being checked in on, be open and honest.
Open and honest, man. And, this whole thing put a lot of things in perspective for me of not everybody that's gone through some shit is a bad person.
Right.
And it took me being in this situation to see that sometimes people just really get raw into deals and in bad circumstances, something's, misunderstood and used against them. And it happens, right? And we don't live in a perfect society, because if we did, I wouldn't be here doing this fucking episode.
Yeah, but this stuff wouldn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
So just be smart out there, protect yourself, know your rights.
Yes, sir.
That is key. And if you're going through some things, be open, be honest, talk to your friends.
Agreed.
Let the poison out. It helps me tremendously. Doing this podcast actually is, as deep as we dive into things, it's like a form of therapy.
Good.
It sucked. I mean, it sucked going through it. If you asked me when I was going through it, I told you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But now that I'm on the other side of it, man, and I have all the things that I have to see why they did the things that they did, and we'll get into all of that. It really makes a difference in how I feel today.
Good.
So, all right, I guess we are done.
Close this
I
one
don't know how to close this one. So, all right, on that note, I've been Jerett.
I've been Jack.
I messed that up.
You did. Go ahead. Who have you been?
I've been JJ.
And this is Shattered Wisdom Podcast.